Oh,
The best part of waking up is the old pouring coffee.
soldiers in your cup. Yeah.
Folgers, shoulders, whatever. No, no brand awareness here. We still need to put something on that coffee cup, though. We are live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
everybody, come on in. There's one here.
Yeah.
Marv, probably from Portugal. Marv, welcome in, Marv.
Yeah.
Marv says hi. He's not working today. He's lazy.
Yeah. Don't blame him.
So B, it's what probably Thursday afternoon there.
Yeah.
Super hot.
Ralph
We're in
Ralph
for a
Griffith.
we're in for a hot day here in Michigan. Ralph's still waiting for his buzz. Sorry, Ralph. It's the breakfast buzz. Everybody, come on in. Come on in, have a seat. Joe Cotton says Bigby here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah. Bigby Coffee is pretty good. There's Bigby,
Franchise.
there's Starbucks in there. Now we can go. We can. I think some of the stores are open today. Will you dare go out amongst the people?
Everybody goes out.
Yeah. Trico Luckins in the chat says morning, fellers.
It's 2 p.m. where Marv is.
Yeah.
He's living ahead of us.
Yeah, day's almost over there.
In wonderful Portugal, halfway through.
Yeah. It's 2 p.m.
Right on the coast, I believe he said, Marvy. Must be beautiful. Hey, guys, Glenn Ford
Yep.
in the house. Hey, Glenn.
Ionicus Toy Review, Mr. Glenn Ford. Randy, I've been ordering stuff off of Amazon. I want to talk about that.
You blind bastard! Is that the drugs talking?
I had to buy some essentials and maybe some non-essentials off of Amazon. We'll talk about that too today.
The essentials will be here in 2 days. The non-essentials might take a month.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Also, I want to talk about the art stores opening today. The art supply store is opening.
Well, you know, hooray for that! The bells are ringing. People are eager to draw.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about I shouldn't say this, but
don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah.
If you shouldn't say it, don't say it. People are listening, and we have Indie Volt Radio on the air. It's cranked up. This program, by the way, is rated TVMA DLSV, where the D stands for dimwittery. Welcome. Come on in.
Yeah, it stands for DLSVU.
DLSVU. That's the new TV show on NBC.
Yeah, Dirty Lowdown Special Victims Unit.
Ice-T gets a promotion.
Yeah. We'll talk about that, and we'll also talk about printing. We got a problem for printer.
When do we not have a problem with the printer?
Yeah, we'll talk about that too, and it's going to be interesting.
Only when you really know them and can rely on them.
Yeah, you know, I rely on these printers too. Well, I've got a good printer. I've got a good printer, but we're also going to talk about we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about if you have what happens when you go to when Comic-Cons come back, and what you plan on doing differently, and how the business is going to look a little different once everything opens back up again. Especially we're referring to going to Comic-Cons and checking into hotels and whatnot. Today,
hotels will be open very shortly, at least around here.
Yeah,
next week or so, everything will be up and running.
Yeah,
I'm running the opening.
Go ahead, let's go.
All right, hey everybody, here's the opening.
The popcorn you're eating has been pissed in. Film at 11.
No.
How?
That's the news. There you go. Just
now.
Yeah, now.
What's up, buddy? How you feeling? How you feeling?
I am feeling okay. I'm up. I'm walking around for a moment at a time without my cane, unassisted.
That's better.
Yeah, so it's much better. Back in another Una boot. For the people who don't know what an Una boot is when they wrap your leg in this It's like a cast. It's 2 ply, and it's meant to compress your leg. So I'm still about another this week and next week. I'll probably get a new Una boot next week, and
That's
then
to keep the inflammation and swelling down and to
yeah,
aid in your healing. Yeah.
yeah, and then they're going to move to the doctor calls them compression stockings. I'm going to refer to them as
Mhm.
compression socks because I don't like the idea that I'd be wearing stockings. That just doesn't. I can't live in a world. Can't abide by that reality. So compression socks.
Well, look at those. Look at the old colonial dudes. They not only did they wear stockings, they had wigs.
Yeah, yeah, and androgyny. And they were okay with it though. Yeah, some of them look good.
Back then, apparently it made them manly men.
Yeah.
So everybody's taste culture shifts all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's changing now as we speak.
Yeah, it is. Um, I'm Varian Grant, co-owner of Last Call Comics, founder of Indie Vote Media LLC. Started making comics back in 2008. First book I ever made was a black and white interior action comedy called Psycho Sirens. Was a creator on that book. I didn't write or draw it, but I was the creator on it. So, I am a father, a husband, a geek, uh, occasional actor, an artist, a writer, publisher, a very, very reluctant taxpayer, and of course, your host here today. I'm joined by Mr. Randy Zimmerman.
Hey,
Hello,
everybody.
Randy.
Hey, hello. I'm Randy Zimmerman. I do comics. I've done alternative and independent comics for many, many, many years. Printed under the Arrow, the massive, the Weeby banner. I freelanced with a lot of independent companies, a lot of which aren't around still today. The last 10 years, I'd been doing my own newspaper, comics paper, comics and entertainment paper that I circulated here around the county. But now I'm a award-winning commercial and graphic artist whose main calling is sequential art. I do sequential art for advertising, and now I'm back doing comics, hopefully for the shall we say, the direct market or entertaining comics more than educational comics. And I do the Zimm Geek channel here on YouTube. That's ZIMMGEEK over on the YouTube. Please like and subscribe.
Randy, you say county, but the truth is, the paper went to more than just one county.
Oh no, we circulated it
Yeah.
all over. We circulated really about a 50-mile radius around Flint. And we called it Flint Comics. And it went as far as Davison over to Owasso, down to Holly, and as far north as really as far north as Saginaw.
Yeah.
So it was in that area. Yeah, we moved through 10,000 copies every month,
Mm-hmm.
and got a couple hundred back every issue. And of those, we'd weed out the readable copies and then do conventions all around the state and just hand them out because
Yeah.
you didn't have to be from Flint to enjoy it.
No. Um, I had opportunity to be in that paper a few times, so
Yeah.
I was.
We printed a lot of really good, talented folks. That was the big criteria for being in the papers. You had to have some quality to your work. So
Joe said, "Is this a medium or dark roast? We can't do dark roast. We'll get demonetized." Um,
well,
reference those. Yeah.
yeah, let's just set it to private, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, that's a private. Alex Henning says, "Hey, Indivo fam, you got this. Thank you, Alex." Marv says, "The show you did with CG and SJW people was very good. Congrats." Thanks, Marv. That was a lot of thanks to Mr. Rob Anderson for that one. We wanted to be as fair and balanced as possible when we did that show. You'll notice that we never called it CG versus SJWs or anything like that. It was, a conversation, a discussion. And like I said, I hope that everyone who watched it and the people who participated in it got a chance to come away from it with a better understanding of the other side and realizing that side is a lot closer to their own beliefs than they thought. Because
yeah,
we tend to demonize each other very quickly. Well, these people think this or that person thinks that. So it was really good to have two sides come together. We plan on doing it again. We're not going to rush to do it, but we plan on doing it again and continuing that conversation. And
a little education goes a long way.
yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Speaking of Rob, he's in the house. Good morning, gents.
yeah, good morning, Rob. Um,
Glenn says, "Knock on wood."
Yeah. Glenn also asked, what did I do to
Alex
my what did I oh, I'm sorry.
Alex Hennings,
Yeah. Yeah,
Andy
all right.
Volt. Damn, you got this. Yeah.
Glenn also asked what I do to my leg. Glenn, I had MRSA in my left leg, recurrence when I had it in my right leg 2 years ago. So it's no fun. Um,
Just keep switching sides.
yeah. Marv says I use those. I had 2 strokes in my right leg. Sucks.
Ooh.
And then he says wigs, WHIGS.
Nope, nope. Just WIGS. Powdered wigs. Yes. Wrong wig, but good try.
And then
And Joe says I got that. I've worn compression socks before. I've got a couple pair upstairs,
yeah.
but I had circulation problems in my leg.
But do you notice what you call them? Socks.
Hmm.
Compression socks. We're not calling them stockings.
No,
No.
that's because it raises a whole different connotation.
Yeah.
But they were yeah, they went up to the hip. So
Ralph says the journeyman Zim. Marv says, by the way, thank you, Randy, for following me on Twitter this week.
oh yeah, no problem. I finally found you. You just, or stumbled across you. So hey, I'm not following Marv. I need to follow him.
And Glenn says he has family in Flint. Yeah,
Cool, Glenn.
yeah. There's
I hope they're all well and doing good and away from any trouble or bad water.
yeah. I will say that
There's still tainted water in Flint, but I understand there are still parts of Midland that are about 10 feet underwater.
mm,
So from that dam.
yeah,
So
and on that note, Randy, we
Michigan's
definitely
a hell of a state.
yeah
Anyway,
yeah
go ahead.
there are some we had a question from Indie Vote Radio,
Hmm.
which I want to thank people listening right now. Indie Vote Radio, right now we are up to 9,111 people, which is 9111 people listening on Indie Vote
We love and
Radio.
appreciate you all.
Yep, top country right now with Germany. So, hello
Cool.
Germany. I should learn how to say hello in all of these languages, but
And if you did, it would probably just come off as a little patronizing.
it would.
And then everybody would start writing to you in their native language since you knew how to say hello. Then
Yeah.
you'd be working that translator over time, which might add to the comedy, knowing good.
It probably would. So, Randy, one of the things that someone asked from last week's show that we get just to cover, or on Tuesday. I see last week's, but on Tuesday's
Last
show
week's
actually.
Tuesdays, Wednesdays. We're on here Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then there's Wednesday night Geekgasm, which is why Varian had a hard time getting up this morning.
Yeah, man. I gotta.
Yeah.
Um,
He woke up at 2 a.m. thinking, did I really say that on the air? Holy crap, I better go back and check.
yeah, the apologies I have to make up for yeah. It's
Anyway.
I have to make a lot of apologies. I just read a lot of apology emails the next day. Um,
Only
there is
because you get all the angry emails.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
There
speaking
is
of angry emails, what'd you get?
yeah, well, one of the emails that I got was from a gentleman who wants to know. He says that his printer
Mhm.
uh, switched paper types. It wasn't the type of paper that he ordered for his comic. He ordered a certain pound. For those who don't know, when you print a comic, you have the ability, in most cases, to select the paper pound that you need,
Mhm.
or that you desire. There's, I think they started. Was it Randy? 30 pound. I mean, you can. Some places will print
Oh,
on
there's
newsprint.
all sorts of different levels. There's all sorts of different poundage. Yeah.
Right. So your typical Marvel comic, would you say that's about 80 pound, maybe?
Oh, I would think it would be closer to a 40 or 50 pound.
Okay, so
Depending
40 or 50 pound. This
on
gentleman
them
did not.
standards and practices.
Yeah.
So,
This gentleman did not say what he ordered, but
holy crap, we're live.
but he did say that he ordered the paper he ordered. The comic was not that when he got it. It was far less quality. He reached out to his printer. Hey
Mhm.
guys, it's been a mistake. You know,
Mhm.
you know, what can I do? I gotta get these books, out to fans who've crowdfunded and waiting for the book. He was told by the printer, oh, if there's a problem with the paper, send it back. We'll redo the order. Unfortunately, he had to do that at his cost, and he had over
Whoa! He has to do it at his cost.
sending it back. Yes,
Oh, shipping them back.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, shipping them back. He had to pay for shipping them back. Which you got a couple cases of books, can be kind of costly.
I guess
But
you'd have to go back and figure out how they got delivered to him.
yeah,
Did they drop them off? Did they or what? Does he have to hire a separate shipping company?
well, he just
How how many are we talking? A big pallet worth of
he
comics or a
he
few
did say
boxes or what?
he said 8 boxes,
8 boxes. That's a
eight
good amount.
boxes.
That's
Yeah,
about
eight.
1,000 copies.
Yeah. Well, he's filming this. He just got his
Maybe
books from the
2,000.
crowdfunding. He was
Okay.
crowdfunding a book. So
Yeah.
here's the kicker, though. So besides doing that, 2 weeks passed. He hadn't heard anything from the
Mm-hmm.
printer. Um, he called, and the lady says, "Oh yeah, the books were destroyed. Um, yeah, we destroyed them. Basically, sorry, we're gonna fix the situation. The problem was they didn't have the paper, the poundage that he needed. They were running short. They were running short
Okay.
on the paper because of everything that's going on.
Right.
Um, and told him they would have to. That's why they hadn't printed them, reprinted them.
At least they didn't stick a shipping label on sticking on the back of the book and fulfill for it.
Right, right. Well, the
Well,
thing is,
on
though,
cheap newsprint.
they told him it's gonna be a little while.
How long is a little while? Especially with this pandemic, you don't know.
A little while. Yeah, they don't know.
Months?
They don't know. They said, they told him he could be looking at August before they get the poundage, the paper that they need because they're behind.
Holy crap.
So
Yeah.
his book was supposed to fulfill this month, and
June.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So that's only a 2 month delay.
yeah.
The
His,
key, the key that he's going to need to do if he decides to stick with this printer is to be transparent. Jump up on whatever crowdfunding site that he crowdfunded the book through and explain the situation
Mhm.
and let people know this is out of my control. But I rejected the original printing of this book because it did not fit my quality standards and was not up to the paper that I was given the estimate for.
Right, right. Yeah, you paid for one thing, you got something
And
else, you sent it back, and
and
then
in crowdfunding, I don't know of anybody that would fault him for that.
right, right, right. And I mean, this is you're gonna have somebody who's I want my damn book. Where is it at? You promise,
Yeah,
but yeah,
right.
they'd be like you said, be
But
transparent. Let them know.
transparency is always the key, and I would wager there isn't even going to be anybody that'll get mad, let alone ask for a refund. They'll go, oh well, he's having a problem in the printing, and especially with the crap that's happening now with the
Mhm.
virus, you're um, they're
And
just going to have to be understanding.
in fact, with the email, he didn't give permission to put the pictures in up here, but in the email, he showed me pictures of the books,
Mm-hmm.
and he folded it and was actually able to roll it like in a tight like circle, you know.
Uh-huh.
So
Does he plan on mailing them all out in tubes?
no, no, but he was showing me how flimsy the comic was, and
Oh, okay, gotcha.
that's
Yeah.
not what he had, ordered. He had
Well,
ordered it.
just because the comic is flimsier doesn't mean that it's a lower quality of
No,
paper.
no, no,
You
no.
know,
Yeah, it's not what he wanted. But I was thinking he could use those
that's the
pictures.
key. Yeah,
He could use those pictures to show, look, guys, I did print the comic. I'm not doing a bait and switch here.
yeah. Well, he opened up one box. I'd take a picture of that box and
Yeah.
stick that up online. Everything was printed, but this was not up to my quality. And the last thing I need is another
Yeah.
problem like's happened in the past. So I sent them back. The books have been destroyed. They no longer exist. We're waiting for new paper to come in, and because of some of these printers out there can get, especially if they're your hometown printer.
Mhm.
And for one, if it was your hometown printer, if it was a small enough printer that he didn't have your paper stock on hand, I'd have taken them boxes back myself, personally, instead of paying for a shipper. Because it might have been less expensive, honestly, to have rented a van and go in there and knock on this guy's door and go, this is not right. There needs to be some sort of compensation because of that weight. And it's really the printer's fault for not having that paper on hand.
Yeah.
That and the current situation.
Mhm.
Now, because everything got held up, I'm still waiting. Personally, I'm waiting for a distributor to open up myself because I've got a T-shirt order and I can't get the right price from one distributor that I ship from. I get a lot better price from another guy who's not open right now because he's waiting for apparently he's not just waiting for the all clear, he's waiting for the all clear. I don't know. They just opened we just had the state opened up last week and everything's supposed to open up completely. Oh, there's standards and practices again telling me to be quiet.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I guess I'm saying too much.
uh,
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Anyway, uh, you always want to know your printer. Really, you do, and it doesn't hurt to ask and to double check. And here's a lesson I'm sure he's never going to forget, and that everybody else needs to learn. You need to know your printer, and you need to know if your printer is capable, because the printer will do anything, especially if they're desperate for your business. Yeah, we can do that. Come on, bring your book over here. But a lot of these printers, if they're not big, if they don't handle large volumes or certain types of paper, they're not going to keep on hand. They have to special order from a paper distributor.
yeah.
And they all, depending upon the printing press or whatever, they either come in a large pallet of sheets or it comes in an incredibly large roll that they connect to the machine and roll through, depending upon the press operating. But it's important to know if they have that paper on hand and how fast they're going to turn that job around.
Yeah.
That should have also been in his estimate, which it probably was, and a delivery time.
Yeah.
And if they've blown the delivery time, they've screwed up the cost of the paper. In my estimation, in my opinion, he's due a discount.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be nice.
He's due a little something for his pain and suffering, and maybe that isn't monetary. Maybe he needs to talk to the guy and see if they can step up the paper quality to something that he's got on hand that he would be willing to print that book on, as opposed to having to sit around for 2 or 3 weeks in order for the proper paper to come in.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of different grades, and he might be able to step up his publication to a higher grade of paper, and the publisher's ready and willing to eat that cost just to get the job done. And
You mean the printer, yeah.
or the printer.
Yeah.
Did I say publisher? Printer.
Yeah.
The printer, just to get the job done and out the door.
Now, Joe.
So there's
Cotton,
all sorts of different outs on this. He needs to talk to the printer. It's very important that you stay in communication with your printer.
Now, let's take it to the chat real quick. Joe Cotton says,
And you also have to remember that what I was always taught coming up and prepping print jobs is you have to assume your printer is the stupidest person around. So you have to make all of the details, make sure everything is in that estimate. Obviously, hopefully, this guy is completely protected with that estimate. And that he should be able to get some sort of a payback refund, appreciation, knockoff on his next job or whatever for having to go through the inconvenience. They should have communicated with him to say, hey, we're going to print this on cheaper paper.
yeah, it kind of seems to try to bait and switch in a way. You know, we'll send this to him. Hope he doesn't notice.
It does come across as a little iffy. Now, the printer might have been trying to pull a fast one. Oh, it's free. He'll never notice. They don't care. It's just a funny book. Just print it. You know, that could have happened too. And if that's the case, you're really due a discount.
Yeah.
You need to press this and not be afraid to kind of push that button a little bit and go, hey, you've caused me and my fans, you made me look bad to my crowdfunding, and I really wanted to deliver this book on time. Maybe we should talk about what you can do for me. Outside of printing that book and getting it done as fast as possible.
I would probably be, actually, I wouldn't have to be hysterical. Lola would be hysterical for me. So I had a situation where a book got printed with a white border around it that wasn't supposed to be there, and Lola freaked out.
Oh yeah. There's all sorts of mistakes are always going to be made. But it's how that gets handled and how that gets rectified is the reputation that the printer gets and maintains.
They're commenting in the chat. Joe Cotton says, how many pounds of paper is Kid V? According to my last weigh-in, actually 302, which is very sad. It's like, what? How do I keep getting bigger? And then I look, why I squig at an energy drink.
Everybody's gained weight in the last couple of months. I don't
eat that much.
Unless you're a health fanatic and you're able to do your exercising, it's a miracle if you didn't gain weight.
It's caffeine. It's caffeine.
Well, I had a wife that was home for 2 months, and all she could do is read books and cook. So,
Rob says she should get out the PDF for the book.
Ooh, I don't know if you want to do that either. You know, we've talked about doing digital stuff in the past. So
yeah,
that's also a matter of opinion. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could probably address again sometime soon.
Show the book is done exactly. He sent me pictures in the email. I think those same pictures he sent me, he could upload in his update with a story
Yep.
about what happened,
Yep.
and he could, and let people know he's working tirelessly on getting them their book.
Yep.
Um,
And it's not like it was printed really shoddy on purpose and shipped, and then you have this promise. Oh, I'm so sorry that it didn't meet professional standards. I'll go back and get it reprinted. No, he actually tried. It was there and ready to go on time. I'm sure he. I hope he took pictures of an open box to show that the book
yeah,
was done.
there was a picture.
Everything
Yeah,
was
there
there.
was a picture.
Here's all of these pallets. But again, I would have rented a van and drove him to him personally, and
I
you know,
will tell you from my
and
experience.
drop that SOB off and talk to that printer personally, face to face.
For my experience, a box of 100 comics, which is normal print run for most of us. For 100, they stop at 100 issues per box. Um,
Depending on how thick the book is.
right,
Yeah.
can call. We're talking about basic floppy. Yeah, these aren't floppy, so these are trades.
Well, the trades you'd be lucky if they're in
Well,
100,
they're not
100 per
trades, but
box.
they're a little bit thicker. It's probably like
Thicker.
2 issues worth of content.
Okay.
Um, so the fact that he can roll that up, that's kind of a nice little
Yeah,
tight
there's a
clip.
problem.
But those boxes can cost about $20 a piece to ship.
Oh no no no
So
no 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 no.
yeah,
Depending upon where they're going, it could be 40 to
yeah.
60 to 80
And he had
bucks a
he had,
box.
he had 8 boxes to ship, so he came
Yeah.
back with money. Rob said,
That's a chunk out of his profit margin that he might not be able to afford. But on the other hand, you could probably rent a truck for a day for what 80 to $100.
yeah.
Just load them puppies right in there and drive them right to that printer and go. That way there's nothing like a face to face.
Tell you what you do is you just go rent yourself one of those rental trucks in Menards or Home Depot.
Yeah.
It's cheaper sometimes than UPS than U-Haul.
8 boxes, all you need is a really small van.
Yeah.
Really.
Or ask a friend for a van, make a day out of it. Tune into dinner or lunch, and yeah. Rob says his mistake was paying to send them back. He should have pushed back hard.
Yeah. And they should have covered the cost of shipping too, by the way.
Yeah. Brian Langley says, Good morning, Brian. How are you this morning? Trico says, speaking of printing, did Varian never get the issue with the printed books from China sorted out? I did, Trico. They actually are moving now. I got a shipment. The company sends out a Google chart spreadsheet, and it's got my shipping information on there. I won't get a tracking number till they get stateside, but they are expected to reach. They were shipped on May 31st.
Literally slow boat from China.
Yeah, May 31st they were shipped on, so we'll see what happens. Ralph says them energy drinks are bad mojo. They should come up with one called Bad Mojo. They should.
They'd probably sell the shit out of it too.
Yeah. I'm up. Well, you guys will be not. You guys are glad to know that I'm down to about 3 a day. So,
that's still 3 a day too many, dude.
yeah, I'm down to 3 a day.
It's bad enough. I run through a pot of coffee a day.
Yeah.
So at least that's there's more pluses and minuses in that outside of the acid.
Yeah, it was.
Which isn't even good acid.
Hey, this has B vitamins in it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, hey, B vitamins. That's great. They have caffeine, and you should sit there and read the ingredients list sometime.
No,
and when you start getting to the chemicals you can't pronounce, that's usually bad for you. And there's a list of them. There's probably a laundry list of bad chemicals you can't quite pronounce. What? You have to sit there and try to sound out vocabulary.
I make. I make listen. I eat all type of stuff that's bad for me. I was raised in a black household. I can't. These chemicals are nothing to me.
Don't say that.
We eat everything deep fried. What are you talking about?
Well, that's Southern. That's just Southern cooking in general.
Yeah.
So,
Marv says, I don't know how
we don't fry that sucker in butter. We fried that baby in lard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Marv says, I don't know how I'm going to do it about my comic. I want to print it on newsprint, but here in Portugal, it's very expensive, around $2 US, a 32-page issue for 500 prints.
Wow. Yeah, well, you're also printing light, also, Marvy. 500 for a web press print. That I can tell you from experience that getting it lined up, especially if you're doing a color book, they're going to destroy about 500 copies or copies worth of paper just to get it to where it's set up and looking even close to correct. So when you're doing a color book like that on newsprint, volume is the key. Volume, volume, volume. The Preservers comics that I get printed are on a large web press done in newsprint. They have to ship out for the cover. But they turn these puppies around in like 5 days. The interiors are newsprint. And the minimum run on these are 5,000. Because again, it takes them about 500 copies to line up all of the colors and have it look right. Even if you're doing black and white, they're going to destroy about half of their run in order to get the press up running and the black ink flowing correctly. They're gonna waste a lot of material just to print your 500. And the difference between printing 500 once everything's set up and 5,000 is somebody sitting there with a stopwatch and clicking off about 10 to 15 minutes and then shutting the machine down.
Travis
because everything runs on such a large web press.
Travis Gibbs says, I love when comic creators will send the completed book on PDF and then says that you won't get your book for like 4 months later. Even more so when you know they're printing digital in the U.S. So there was a hint of sarcasm in that. He does not indeed love it.
I caught that sarcasm.
Yeah, he does not indeed love it. Don't let him fool you. So Travis doesn't like that. He doesn't like when you get a PDF and then you wait 4 months later for the print.
Or you send that PDF off and you didn't watch your DPI level and it's printable.
Yeah.
And somebody could run out to their local print-on-demand printer with your PDF file and say, hey, make me a hard copy of this, will you?
Unless you're like our homeboy Greg, who I don't know, Travis, you were here for that. We had a gentleman who wrote in, and I said his first name, who decided to he was going to print a comic, and then he decided at the last minute, I don't have enough money for this. So what he did was he sent out the PDF with a certificate that allowed you, because you bought a printed copy, it allowed you to go to any print store and print one copy of the book. Even though you bought a physical copy, he couldn't afford it, so he sent you a PDF that was printable with a certificate saying that you were allowed to print one copy. So yeah, you can do that. That's it. I accidentally doxed the guy, gave out his first name, but yeah.
There's plenty of Daves in the world.
Yeah, Greg's, but yeah.
See, you just doxed him twice now. Why did you do that for? Don't do that again. I was giving you an out and you didn't take it.
He definitely should have pressed for some kind of discount. Yeah, he should have. Rob says, hey, Varian, mention Luke Stone's open call. I will. I'll do that in a minute. I'll give it its own section.
We need to take a day a week and do a shill stream.
Yeah.
Where we have people on and all they do is talk about their stuff.
Fresh pots, yeah. Fresh pots.
Fresh pots, always.
And says
coffee is life.
It is. Glenn, is life. Hey Glenn, give me a second. We got to go do some stuff here, and I'll shoot a link out there for people to come in and chat with us. And then Marv says, "Thank you for answering, Randy." Hey, Randy.
Marvy, anytime, buddy. That's what we're here for. Remember, hang on here as I scroll up. Our feedback will be better because of your setback. That's our new motto here at Indie Volt.
Yeah. Travis says, LOL, that certificate sounds amazing. Oh my God. Yeah, we covered that here. It was quite the discussion for about 20 minutes.
That's part of the fun of doing these podcasts is part of the real reason why I love doing this is so that everybody else can learn from everybody else's mistakes. And that was a mistake. That was a big mistake.
It was a mistake, and
in my opinion,
I think he meant well. But there's something called optics, and no, you don't think he meant well? You think?
No. I think he thought he meant well, but it comes off as a cash grab. So.
Yeah. I know you bought a physical copy of this book, but I can't send it to you. So here's a PDF and a certificate that I'm going to design. It actually has a little border
for you to spend more money on.
Yeah, it had a little border on, and it was all digital. So it was like, here you go, guys.
He probably spent more printing the certificates than he did printing half of the print run of the proper book.
Here you go, guys. Sorry,
I take money.
I can't print the book for you, but I'm allowing you the opportunity to go pick that. Go print your own copy. You get to print one copy.
Only one.
Uno.
Uno.
That's one. That's one.
Probably for the cost of retail of the book again.
Well, do you
These
recall,
print on
Randy,
demand guys.
when we brought that up? Do you recall that we
How dare you?
we had some people in the chat who were like, "Yeah, I'm going to put your book, your PDF, online. Then I'm uploading it to every possible torrent site. You screwed me out of money
Well, like
because
that
the
wonderful scanner that you keep boasting that you've got coming.
yeah.
You can scan a book in 10 minutes. Oh yeah, great. Let's tell everybody that.
It's 5 minutes actually, but yeah,
5 minutes. Yeah, it's only 5 minutes.
yeah. It's got a little foot pedal you pressed in it. Just
Yeah.
constant scan has auto
Bzzz, bzzz.
has auto curve. It has curve flattening technology, which boy could we use right now. But that's what it's actually called,
So
curve flattening.
all of us could use that right now
Yeah,
on ourselves. Curve flattening technology.
yeah. So it's but
Get rid of that extra curve.
so there's no curve in the pages. It just because the scanner is it's overhead, and it's gonna be very interesting when that scanner ships. I'm getting it so I can help do better, so I can do better reviews on indievolt.com. So Randy, I want to show you this.
Suddenly, comicsahoy.com pops up. Actually, it would probably be comicsahoy.tv or something.
Yeah.
One of the Ahoy indeed.
Yeah. Currently available in your
$5 bin.
at your discount bin at Best Buy, at Blockbuster. I don't know what's. Oh my gosh! Wow, I went way back. Am I having a stroke?
Blockbusters. Yeah,
What's
if you
more
can find
fudge?
one, good luck.
Just no, at Walmart.
$5.
No. Discounted down to 10.
It's not in the circular $5 bin.
It's been so depending on where you go, it's been discounted down to $9.95. Bloodshot the movie, ladies and gentlemen. You should go check it out.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
Nobody else has. You'll be first on your blog.
Yeah. And for
Ding,
the company. Travis says,
and that, quite frankly, is bad timing because the trailer for that movie looked pretty good. I was really hoping that it would get out there because somewhat independent properties need to be made into movies so that folks aren't staring blindly at Marvel or DC, because Marvel and DC seem to only have blinders on for about a dozen of their properties, and that's about all that they're. Except Marvel's gotten a lot better because they're bringing in more oddball stuff, but DC's got a hot dozen, and that's all they want to do. And you're looking at CW now, and Stargirl is suddenly out there, and it's phenomenal looking. Well, for a CW show, it's really good. And Swamp Thing's coming back. That's supposed to be excellent good. Mm-hmm. There's so many phenomenal properties out there, not just at DC, but also in the independent market that really deserve to be seen.
Yeah.
By a wider audience. It's a shame that Bloodshot got caught the way that it did. There's just bad timing and just bad.
Yeah. Travis says, you clearly don't understand how much it takes to print a comic. It costs money, and well, then I can't have money if I spend money. Don't you understand? Do you know how much money how much the pledge offer was? Yeah, they were. I think the physical book was $15-20. Well, $15, and then there was like $10 with shipping.
And that's part of the problem in crowdfunding floppies.
Yeah.
So you're looking at it and going, that's kept me out of a lot of campaigns. You're sitting there going, this is just a 32-page comic, and you want $15 for it? Come on.
Yeah.
Rob
says, ouch, harsh on the Valiant. I personally, if Valiant doesn't come back, I will say this: I'm very, very interested.
And they haven't given a pencils up announcement yet.
Well, I'm very interested.
So I don't know if Valiant is coming back because they had so much invested in Bloodshot.
I'm interested if there's going to be a sale of properties. I'm not interested in any of the properties. I don't want the properties. I want the logo.
You want the what?
I want the logo.
You want the Valiant logo? Oh, because it's a V.
Yeah. That's all I want. They can everything else.
Somebody else had a logo that was incredibly close to that. Compass Comics or something like that. Mm-hmm. I looked at it and I went, wow, if Valiant doesn't serve them with a cease and desist, they don't know they exist.
Yeah.
And that was really close. And I'm not one to push a lawsuit, but they should have known better.
Yeah.
Because they got really close to that look.
Rob Anthony says, "Hey, I really enjoyed that movie. The special effects are so damn good, especially with the fight scenes, and the choreography,
Insane.
insane."
That's
I,
cool, Rob. I haven't seen it, so it could be a phenomenal film. It's just that they got bad timing. And in
I,
my opinion, it was really bad marketing too. Though the trailer looked really good, they should have plastered all over that based on the based on the comic from Valiant Comics, and they
yeah,
never did.
I uh, I have my logo, which is kind of like 1984ish. But
Yeah, it
it's
is. It looks like it. Yeah.
yeah. It's a rip. I pretty much ripped the 1984 logo off, just to have some fun with it. But it's what it is. If I buy the Valiant logo, I'll use that.
There you go.
I'll just go in there. Yeah, you guys don't need this. You guys don't need this at all. You're not using it. Very
Well,
interesting.
Valiant's been struggling,
Mhm.
to put it nicely, ever since they resurfaced. So,
Yeah.
but their big major mistake, if you go back in comics history, there and a lot of people have a lot of bad opinions of Jim Shooter, but holy crap, the whole company just went took a nosedive real hard when they pushed Jim out of that company.
Yeah. Glenn says Bat and the Sun did a great job doing some live action Valiant characters. They did that who was it? Ninjak versus the universe, or Vat versus the Valiant universe,
Yeah,
and that I thought I wasn't gonna like it. It was free to watch, and I'm like, I'm not gonna like this. But it wasn't too long, and I'll tell you, I found myself actually entertained.
I've seen
Um,
some pretty cool fan movies from the Rebellion properties too. The 2000 ADs, Rogue
mhm.
Trooper and Strontium Dog, that were pretty good.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, it's anymore. You get enough guys with enough time on their hands,
Mhm.
and by guys I mean talented folk in general.
Right.
Out out there, they can do amazing things.
Question from Indie Vote Radio. This is from Jillian, who listens in the U.S. She
Cool,
is based out of Memphis, Tennessee.
awesome.
Hello, Jillian. Never seen you in the chat before, but thanks for listening. Feel free to pop into the chat anytime you want. Check us out on YouTube, especially. We can use those likes and likes,
Subscriptions, yeah.
subscriptions, and
Ring that bell.
notifications.
Ring
Yeah,
that bell for
because
notifications.
not only do you rank when you subscribe, it helps us, but it also helps us fight the YouTube algorithm. So,
And
uh,
eventually, it might actually get Indie Volt monetized, so they can tell us what and what we cannot say on our broadcast.
yeah,
If
won't
we
that be
expect
fun?
to get paid, and we can take super chats.
Yeah. Won't that be fun? We can be looked. We'll have Big Brother over our shoulder even more.
We'll be careful not to say the N word or the V word or the C word or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah. And we mean the second N word.
all the N words.
Yeah. There's two N
The N
words.
words, the two NA words, the two NI words, anyway.
Um,
And that Nerf herder.
Jillian wants to know. Uh, she's tired of all the documentaries. About she's a writer, by the way, and she
Hmm.
wants to know, where are the documentaries about the talent that's come through comics. There's no movies about us. There's no biopics about us. I say us as if I'm one of them. But I mean, I make comics, so where's the comic book creator biopic? Now, the one that comes to mind for me is American Splendor, Harvey Picar story.
Yeah.
But Dylan's got a
There,
point.
there's a Michael Diana documentary out about Boiled Angel
Is it?
that I
Okay.
keep meaning to watch on Amazon. And you keep telling me about all the great documentaries that are up there. There's
Yeah,
Comic Book Confidential that's
yeah.
out
There's
about the different
documentaries
creators. Yeah.
about the industry, but there's no biopics. The only biopic, like I said, that comes to mind is
Well,
Harvey Picar.
that and which is really interesting too, because most of comic creators lead a very dull, unexciting life, where really our largest battle is with our health, because we sit around so much. We get that big artist hump working, or our diabetes is prevalent, or any of those diseases from inactivity, because
Mhm.
most of the time we're using our brain and our hand-eye coordination a lot more than we are our physical body. But
Yeah,
they take the one creator who writes about the absolute most mundane parts of his life, and that's the guy that gets the movie. And that And it's a really good film too. Paul Giamatti's amazing as that, and anybody who remotely saw like Picard's appearances on Letterman or got to see him in person at a signing or anything, will realize that Giamatti is amazing in that film.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
I
it's dull, and it's about his life and how mundane his existence is. So
It's an entertaining movie though. It is an entertaining movie.
it is a very entertaining movie. It's an amazing film.
I almost forgot Charles Moulton has a movie now too.
Yeah, and
Charles,
again, that was one of those little independent films that you hardly hear, anything about.
yeah, Charles Moulton, the Wonder Woman, which covers the fact that he had two wives.
He had anything but a dull existence.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and
yeah.
so you check that out, Jillian. If you haven't seen that, I think it's called Doctor Moulton or Doctor Marston. It might be just Charles
I
Marston.
believe it was Dr. Marston and the Wonder Woman
Yeah, yeah,
is what it's called.
yeah.
But there's Cavalier and Clay has gotten really close to being filmed a couple of times. I believe that's Metzger won a Pulitzer Prize for that. That's about the creation of the early days of comics and comics creation back pre Golden Age, really.
Rob says, yeah, definitely check
He's
it
talking
out.
about
Bloodshot. Yeah.
Bloodshot. Yeah,
It's not perfect, but you see that final fight scene. Gets me pumped. Oh, I don't blame you. That logo was sick. They definitely need a decent marketing department. They're gonna need a whole new staff too pretty soon. Because
I think
yeah, I saw that.
I wouldn't surprise me if they end up with a new staff when they come back.
Yeah, they did a pretty decent job. Marv V says, "I'm not excited about comic movies anymore. Too much stuff makes me dizzy. I like simple movies, like Blade and The Crow.
Well, the Crow's being remade. Shouldn't that be coming out soon?
Well, if they can get an actor and director to stay on, that'd be nice.
Yeah, Blades being remade. It's just not on the schedule yet. But everybody right now has a hard time with their schedule because they don't know how soon they're going to be back filming.
Yeah,
So
Bat and the Sun had Jason David Frank's Bullshot. They did, and it was pretty good. Batman and Bill was super good. Batman and Bill was good. And as far as documentaries go, that was the documentaries on comics that you can find a couple of those.
there's a lot
But
of them out there. Yeah.
biopics, because I think the other thing about that is that if you're doing about because there's a Robert Crumb documentary that is fascinating.
Yes, it is. Yep. That's a documentary too, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's not
But
really a biopic.
right. But when it comes to biopics, how do you film an artist biopic? You have to focus on their life, and there needs to be something, I guess, about their life that a screenwriter or a director can really sink into.
Like I said, they lead a lot of dull existence in real life because their work is so fantastical.
John
They
Michel Basquiat, who was a painter, he has a biopic, but it was Jean Michel Basquiat, and he had things that happened. I don't want to go into that, but there were things that happened in his life that make it an interesting life that a screenwriter, was
Sure.
they got an embarrassment of riches when it comes to what they can pull from.
Hmm.
For me, what are they going to do? Uh, da, 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 film my temper tantrum. They can film my epic, legendary Kylo Ren like temper tantrums when I'm at my art desk. They can film that. That'll be what it's about. Me having temper
There
tantrum.
you go. Back in the late 60s, early 70s, there was a TV show that I believe it only ran for a season off of cartoonist James Thurber's life.
Mhm.
And that was called My World and Welcome to It. And James Thurber was a big single panel cartoonist for a long time, did a lot of amazing work, but he had a single pen line when his illustrations were incredibly simple and they were very easy to animate. So you had the cartoonist literally drifting in and out of his imaginary world with all of these simplistic cartoons going through. It was a really I still remember it now, even though I saw it in my real early youth. So
Ralph says Netflix has a doc on an Aussie comic
comic
company that
company,
came to San Diego in 2013 and their experience.
that's cool.
Uh, I may have seen that, Ralph. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
My bio op will be epic. Biopic will be epic.
I do think they've been working on one about Kirby, uh, but that mainly sprang from the movie Argo
Mhm. Yeah.
and Kirby's use of that. But Kirby had an incredibly varied and very interesting career, especially his Warriors were amazing. 'Cause
Um,
he was quite the he was quite the hero during that period.
Before Stan passed, there was
Very
a
underscored.
before Stan passed, there was a movie about Stan's life, but believe it or not, it was gonna be an action comedy. I shit you not.
Well,
There
that's
was
because Stan is so bombastic. You can't, they'd probably take little elements of his life and really over exaggerate them.
You know what? I was thinking, I would like to see some movies about some of these guys, and I think that, excuse me, as they pass on, you might see more movies about them because a Bob Kane documentary, a
you,
biopic.
that would might be incredibly difficult to pass by his estate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Depending upon the level of reality and which story you wanna follow with.
Just here's what you do. Here's what you do. There's a video game designer. He made a video game called D. Okay, and he said he's making one game his entire life, and if the game didn't make any money, he was done with video games.
Done.
And so the game was very gory, had a lot of gory scenes in it. And what he did was he knew those wouldn't get past the censors.
Mm-hmm.
So he made a censored version of all this of the game. He took it to the council for them to pass it. He knew that there, at this point in gaming, there was there's a system of I guess to protect your creation. Once it gets passed, once they say it's good, they give it back to you. You are to physically take it, the master, to get reproduced.
Okay.
You have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So they did that, and they gave it back to him with its passing mark. Hey, it's passed. You can go. Go ahead and get it. Here's the master back.
Mm-hmm.
He then took it and switched it with the uncensored version. And that is the version that we all gamers across the country, across the globe,
You gotta
got.
you gotta love rebels like that.
And oh boy. But the funny thing was the game sold. I think
Oh yeah,
that
it
the
probably
game
did.
sold, and I think that Sony screwed them though because Sony didn't print enough copies, and which led to short supply for the game. So he vowed to only make games for Sega at that point, or make his games exclusive to Sega, because they hadn't done them wrong. But
Was that
yeah,
Grand Theft Auto?
no, it was called D.
D.
Yeah, D. And they made a D2 and Enemy Zero. He used the same character in each game to change your last name, but it's definitely the same character. Yeah, it was really cool that he did that, and I was thinking about a Bob Kane biopic being the same way. Hey guys, here, let me get the rights to Bob Kane's story. Here's what I'm going to tell. Here's what I'm going to show. And then what they get in theaters is I get a nasty call day the movie comes out.
They could call it the Mark of Cain.
Yeah, there you go. There you
That'd be
go.
awesome.
Dorothy says, "Hey, hello, Dorothy.
Hey, Dorothy.
I was looking at a picture of your son. He's getting so big, and he looks like you. So it's weird. It's like you in little boy form. It's very weird." Mara V says, "How much do we know a biopic is legit? The Queen movie was a lie. 80% of it. As a fan, I was insulted.
Okay.
Biopics usually have some bit of
It's another movie I didn't sit through, even though I like Remy Malek a lot.
some of the biopics have a bit of I mean they have to dramatize things and
Yeah.
make things a little bit more exciting for you to want to. I mean, like the Steve Jobs movies, I had both of them. I bought both of them on Blu-ray because I think they're fascinating. I think Steve Jobs is fascinating as an individual just because he's just there's. I'm not saying this to brag, but I see a lot of those little things that he does in me. And I'm like, this guy's weird like me. I like it. He's an asshole.
But you kind of thought it was exaggerated, especially the scenes where he's fighting dinosaurs in the jungle.
Yeah, that right there. I'm pretty sure. I understand they were supposed to be lizards, and I'll make a biopic. We'll make a what we'll do is we'll do an independent cinematic universe of creators.
So it had to have been made up. I mean, fabricated certain scenes in that, or else they'd have to admit aliens exist.
Yeah. John Silvestri says, "Hi, I'm penciling my comic while listening to y'all." Hello, John.
So the crooked lines on your drawing you can now attribute to us. Is that
Yeah,
what
when
you're
you
saying? Damn it, you guys! I keep using my eraser. Stop making me laugh.
I
Or stop getting me so mad I'm breaking my lead all the time.
yeah. What the hell asshole just say?
I'm screaming at the screen again.
John, are you subscribed to IndieVolt? Let me know if you are. We actually
Please,
got some.
please do if you haven't.
We
We
actually
need
got
your
something
need your
pretty cool
subscription.
coming for subscribers very soon. So
Have a what?
we have something cool coming for subscribers very soon.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, we got some very cool items coming if you're subscribed. That we're gonna actually be sending out to subscribers. So,
Well,
uh,
that's all news to me.
yeah. It's I just got told about it myself. So,
Does
um,
it have to do with making a certain Funko Pop?
no, I wish it did. I
No,
wish it
not a
did.
thing. Nope.
That would be cool if we did. John, we'll have to get you on the show sometime. Talk about your comic. I want to check it out.
Yeah.
Um, Mars says, sorry, guys, my wife is calling me. Got some shopping to do. I'll see the replay. See you Friday. Be safe. See you, Marvy.
All right, Marvy.
Yeah, we
You take care. Tell the wife we said hello.
yep.
Yep.
And John says he is subscribed.
I'm
Thank you, John.
subscribed. Yes.
Thank you, John. We appreciate it.
Ding, one more.
Randy, the next
Gotta set up a bell for our subscribers while we're on the air. They can hear themselves subscribe.
yeah,
Ding.
Randy. Excuse me. The next statement comes from our friend Randy.
What's our radio? Oh, oh, radio. Sorry. Sorry. Another diatribe.
Yeah, I didn't.
How's our radio numbers look?
The radio numbers right now are at 15,000.
Randy's
Oh, it actually jumped up. Okay, let me.
It keeps jumping. It keeps jumping. Even though Marv has gone shopping,
Yeah,
it's still going up.
radio number right now is actually 411 people listening.
We love you all.
18,411 listening.
Germany's still the hot spot.
Yeah. It's well. Let's see here. Right now we are live in UK. Right now is a hot spot.
Big in the UK. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Germany, you're falling behind. No offense.
Yeah. So Randy reached back out.
Okay.
The other Randy.
Yes, I know.
And
Randy, it's a Randy rant.
Yeah.
You fucking assholes.
Well, he says,
Sorry.
Yeah, he says, okay,
Might be
smart guys. Okay, smart guys, which I.
But that's putting it politely. Thank you, Randy. Thanks for writing it.
Okay, smart guys. So fine, put your books in Walmart. Put your books on your own personal websites and cut out the comic store. Where will you go to move your books when you need us? We'll all be gone. You won't have us. He continues on by saying, if we keep going this route, we're gonna have a problem with having. I'm cleaning this up too because there's a lot of swearing.
No. You can do it. Do it. We're TVMA DLSV. People know that we're an adult program. You can. Don't edit Randy out. Give him a voice. Let him go.
He says,
welcome.
Did
he really say smart guys, or did he say
he said smart guys? He said smart guys. Yeah.
He's still being too nice then.
Yeah. Sorry. He wants to know. Well, he says, do you fucking think that Walmart is going to care about how your comics are treated, bagged, and board? Are they going to help a person find issue 1, 2, 3, and 4 or back issues of your book? Are they going to carry back issues of your book? Fuck you guys. Fuck you up your dumb asses.
Fuck us up our dumb asses.
That's what he said. Now, I mean, now, listen, in my community, dumb can be a good thing. Like, I got dumb money.
Like fat used to be. Used to mean something other than large.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're saying I got a dumb ass,
it's the old man in me speaking. That's
how do we get so much hate mail, Randy? You know who I blame?
Rob Anderson.
That's right. I blame Rob Anderson. So yeah.
Well, I understand the perspective, but what he's saying is pretty wrong on a lot of counts because your local retailer is only as good as your distributor. And right now the retailers seem to be monopolistically pointing at Diamond again. And a lot of times when you go after, if you ask them if they can reorder, it's a crapshoot at best. And the lower guys, anybody that's in that green section of previews, they don't get purchase orders back, except for on very extreme cases.
Right.
Extreme cases. And even then, they're always treated like garbage. So not being able to get a number one from a book from Walmart isn't to me isn't nearly as offensive as trying to get a number one book from Alterna from Diamond and have Diamond go, we don't carry, we don't reorder those books.
Yeah.
We don't ever reorder those books. That's Alterna. They're not worth they're not worth the time or whatever they want to say. The distributor, and it's not the retailer's fault here. The distributor is the one at fault because they don't care. All they care about is the widgets, and because of their lack of caring and their monopolistic tendencies for the last 30 freaking years, has encouraged people to go out and find other avenues. The retailer, unfortunately, is caught in the crossfire on that, either following or towing the Diamond line and only pushing the mainstream books and not caring about anybody in the green section, which is really where the majority of your independent creativity is from, if not all. And these the little creator out there who can't even get represented in Diamond because Diamond decides for whatever reason that your book is not good enough for them to carry. No matter what your price point, no matter how many books you have in advance, no matter how dependable that you are, they just decided they put you in front of a retailer. They were blaming a retailer console for a while as to whether or not your book even was allowed in to the preview section.
Well, here's the thing.
So yes, there's crowdfunding. Yes, there's Walmart. Yes, and those books that are in Dollar Tree are mainstream books. Those are Disney.
Yeah, Randy.
You're always going to have people out there trying to find avenues to get their stuff out.
Not you. You're Zimm. This guy's Randy. Yeah, Randy. Do you? I don't know if you know that, but there are books inside Dollar Tree right now. There's a company putting their books exclusively in Dollar Tree.
Disney licensed books.
Yeah,
and they have licenses for a lot of other properties. So I imagine you're going to see a lot more different books in Dollar Tree here very shortly.
Yeah. Comics for $1.
Yep.
Glenn says we'll take those compliments when you can.
Dollar
smart guys. Smart guys. Okay, smart guys. Take those compliments when you can. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. Rob is in the chat, and Rob said, "You ignore us now. That's why we're going to Walmart. It's like before. Go fuck yourself." But thank you for writing in.
Oh, always rough on that, Randy.
Yeah. John Slushy says, "I'm a crowdfunding comic creator, the future of indie comics." People feel that way, John. And Randy here, not this Randy, but the Randy that writes in, does not feel that way. He
just
feels
call me Zimm, just to keep me distinguished from that Randy dude.
He thinks
call me Zimm.
Yeah, he thinks that it's not the future. He thinks that we're all putting our eggs in one basket, and
they've been putting their eggs in the Diamond basket for 30 freaking years. It needs to stop. You need to start looking for other avenues, and the retail shops really need to get creative.
Yeah,
quite frankly, because they're out there to make profit. They're out there to make a buck, and all they're doing is getting the same old product that Diamond tells them is going to make money, instead of going out there and trying to grow their own freaking audience.
Rob says comic shops try to gatekeep, and now all they have is a gate. And
it's not a comics gate, though.
This gate.
Squeak, yeah. It's not a comics gate, though.
No.
That's a problem.
I'm gonna put the chat link in, so if you want to join in and talk to us, you can. You'll go in the green room first, obviously, but so yeah, I'll put that out there. So the link is in the chat, and me and Randy will start. And if you want to come in and talk about any of the topics we talked about, that's fine.
Do we have more letters from hot fans like Randy?
Well, we got one more, and it's about how do we think Comic-Cons are going to change when they come back? You're gonna. My thing is very simple. You're gonna see masks. You might see the first cons. You might see someone sitting at the door actually for ticker counting. Maybe someone.
All depends on if there's space and people limitations.
Yeah.
Because next week they could actually come out with scientific findings about how herd immunity or whatever, and decide that that's actually what's been needed this entire time, and that we actually need to get out there again and start shaking hands and rubbing shoulders with everybody else. It'll be interesting to see, especially with these protests the last couple of weeks, where the new hotspots spring up. I've been waiting for South Dakota to break out for a long time, and that hasn't happened. Wisconsin, I know, has had a small uptick, but South Dakota has been always open, and they don't seem to have a problem. But there's not a whole lot of people in South Dakota, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of wide open spaces out there.
John says, "How else can a small creator get his vision out there? If it's without crowdfunding, I mean,
Right now, John, it's the way. You know, you can still do web comics. Good luck on trying to make money. You know, unless you go through a larger site like Webtoons. I guess Webtoons pays a little bit, right?
Yeah.
See, that's all part of being independent and alternative comics. Is that we're out there looking for independent avenues or alternative avenues, just like the paper I did for the last 10 years. I moved 10,000 copies in my county. That shouldn't happen. Considering what Marvel and DC are moving, I've moved more copies of my paper than what Marvel and DC are moving some of their lower run books every month. And people are out there desperately looking and hungry to be entertained by comics. And they're not afraid, obviously, we've seen now, they're not afraid to spend $25 on a 48-page book if there's quality there.
And they are...
And $10 shipping.
Yeah, I mean, people are getting... I mean, I would... Listen, I feel for some of these guys who are upset. I get it. Because some people aren't upset. Some shop owners are like, no, it's business as usual. We don't care.
Oh, and some retailers need to get upset. I just listened to a video this morning about why the comic shops don't unionize, and about Comics Pro and that, and how nice that they are to everybody, Diamond and Marvel and DC especially. But they need to get mad, but we're not the ones to get mad at. We're the guys out there trying to hump and make a living doing and creating stuff that we want people to read. That we're fortunate, if we're fortunate enough to actually make a living at that, then, you know, great. That's why I'm out doing advertising work, because that's how I'm making a decent amount of money doing advertising when the businesses are open. Doing sequential art for advertising. I want to do comics. So if I do comics to help sell a widget, and I get paid advertising rates for that, which quite frankly are higher than these silly mainstream professional rates, cool. You know, that's what I do. But where there's a will, there's a way, and there's a lot of will out there. There's a willingness for the retailers and a necessity right now, especially to generate some cash. What are the mainstream doing for the retailers to help them generate extra cash? Are you getting really cool reprints right now? Are you getting really fast books that'll actually bring people in, especially new people in? No, you're not seeing that announced. You're not seeing that happen. You're getting New Warriors. You're getting Snowflake and Save Space. Hey, you couldn't sell it before, and you've lost most of your customer base because it only takes 2 weeks to break a habit.
Yeah,
and it's been 3 months.
Not sure
for people to stop going into comic shops. There has to be something done to bring people back into the retail shops.
Not sure if this is somebody we know. Maybe, I'm not sure. But it's from the name says Jay. But it says, Randy, you held up a copy of your Randy Goat Radio. You held up a copy. I guess they watch the show. Yeah, I guess they're watching the show now. They're listening on Indie Goat Radio.
I held up a copy of the Preservers.
Other Preservers, but they say they're Jay from Michigan, but I don't think he's JR. I'm pretty sure it's not. But said, I'm a fan of your art. I follow your art around. Settle a bet for me, and this is funny because very ironic for him to say this. Did you do the art for the Ollie chain?
No, no, I didn't. I wish I had, because the Ollie's chain is large, and that hopefully whoever did that, and they didn't, because Ollie's is really a hardcore discount store. I hope they paid good rates for whoever did it.
Well, you know what,
because every time I go into Ollie's now, I can't walk out the store without bopping the bobblehead on the nose. See him.
You know what? You got to point that the art does look fairly representative of something that you could do. I'm pretty sure you could.
I could do it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I did a couple of the local franchises, and there was a franchise that was owned locally that was actually in, I think, Arkansas or Alabama, of Little Caesars. I did quite a bit of that guy
Okay.
at one point, quite a few years ago.
Mhm.
But you had him playing soccer and running and doing all sorts of stuff, and that has to be passed through corporate really before they can print it. And I did that real well. But when it comes to simple cartoons, yeah, but there's a lot of that stuff out there. But I didn't do ollies.
No, okay. Yeah, I knew you hadn't, but I thought it's funny because me and you talk about Alex quite a bit. Would have been ironic if you did do that, though.
Oh, well, if I had, I'm sure I would have told you.
Well, sometimes
And
you can't, you know.
And I had little ollies around. Well, there's not a whole lot. Once it's printed, there's not a whole lot of non-compete agreements that keep me from announcing that I've done work for companies once it's out there and done.
Right.
You know, a lot of times you have to be quiet while you're working on it because they're a lot of the advertising campaigns, they just want to spring on people.
Right.
Instead of going, hey, this is coming up from so-and-so, it's going to look like this, or I did a 4-panel strips for this pizza chain, and it's going to look like that. And
right.
That's not good, and I wouldn't want to do that anyway because of the I don't want to upset the client remotely.
Right.
Because they pay good, and I want to get paid again.
Trico says, I love ollies. Yeah.
We all love ollies. Thank you, Marvel and DC, for over printing.
So we got again the chat link is in the description. Not description. It's
I'm
in
surprised
the,
we haven't had more people pop in.
So I'm gonna post it one more time just in case somebody want to pop in
comment section's been really good this morning.
Yeah. So the chat link to join is in the box, the chat box. So yeah, guys, I think that it is really important to understand.
We have one person in the green room right now. I think he's eating our Cheetos.
Believe he's getting ready.
Give us a thumbs up when you're ready to come on the air. I see you're adjusting the camera.
I think that when we do have cons coming back, though, it's going to be a little bit different, a little thinner crowd.
I think it's going to depend upon the area. I would hate to think that they're going to start regulating tickets, because that to me is just bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if the state regulates certain people for so many square feet, then it's going to have to be done. But like making it exclusive in order to try to bump up the ticket value, or as an excuse to bump up the ticket value, that to me is sleazy.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes off as bad form to me.
Ticket,
but then I'm against paying $75 for a weekend to go in, and just because you have Norman Reedus at the show, and suddenly you're spending having to spend $75 for a 3-day or 2-day ticket.
Tickets and table costs to go up too. Remember that?
Yeah.
Hey, we're having a special show. It's gonna be, look at our ticket and table costs.
It's exclusive. There's only going to be so many people that we're going to allow in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
You say they say now. They say now. So keep that in mind. But that might get shut down too.
I honestly think in 6 months or to a year or so, we're going to be back to normal, and we'll be able to shake people's hands and yell at cosplayers again.
My doctor elbow bumps me now when I go in.
What?
We do an elbow bump when I go into the doctor's office now.
Really?
There's no handshaking.
That seems a little odd. No, yeah. I don't. There's not a whole lot of handshaking in general going on now.
Yeah.
That's because they're trying to discourage touch for what. Yeah. Even though last week before, they said it's really difficult to transfer the virus by touch. They still don't want you touching anybody.
We got Glenn.
I don't like being touched by people anyway, so
there you go. Glenn, how you doing,
touch.
man?
Bad touch.
That's anyway. I was going to get political, but I'm not going to.
How's it going, Glenn?
Glenn.
This is my nighttime, so.
Where are you at?
In my room, actually.
No. Where in the world are you? Roseville. Okay.
Yep.
So this is your nighttime? What are you, on a third shift schedule?
Yeah, I've been doing that for like 21 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to be sane.
Are you married?
No.
Okay. Well, my wife was on a third shift schedule for years. That's why I'm still married. And you think I'm joking, but I'm very serious.
No,
I was awake when she was asleep. She was asleep when I was awake. And when we got to see each other, it was a special occasion. So on the weekends, let's go do something. Okay.
Yeah.
We actually get to see each other.
It's probably why I'm still single, is because I work on the third shift.
I hear you.
Yeah. Well, um, we'll start back our panel of indie vote advice for the lovelorn very soon. We'll get Glenn we get Glenn a bunch of dates. Although there's gonna be I can see it now. There'll be some confusion. We'll find him, girl. What age range?
Old
Late
enough.
20s, early 30s. Yeah,
I'm actually 43.
You're 43. So yeah,
20 then.
Yeah, 20. Yeah.
20 works.
There's gonna be a bit of confusion though when we say must love toys. She's gonna get excited.
20-year-olds.
She's gonna make you admit another type of toy, and then she'll find out that no, you want to hurt it. No, the toys won't be a problem because it's, believe it or not, my wife is okay with all my action figures and all my displays and stuff. Totally okay with it. So he's got.
This is not my normal background.
Now you do Ionica's toy review on YouTube. He covers action figures. He somehow goes out and gets toys that I can't. I know what he's doing. He's patrolling the Walmarts and he's probably paying the manager for toys. I get it, but at least
the one castle I work at is right next to a Target. So I'm there like every day.
Yeah, well, you're also not you're buying toys for your personal collection. You're not reselling them.
I do sell.
Do you?
Sell.
Okay.
I'm not selling right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a booth for years at World Trade Center. I've done shows. I've been at Motor City Comic Con for like the past 5 years.
We got John joining us.
John, the animator guy.
The animator guy.
Hi.
Hey,
how you
John.
doing, man?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, yeah. I'm one of those independent comic book artists.
There you go.
You first of all, I love the mustache.
Great. Thank you.
I can't do that. I've tried. It just curls in my mouth. I'm pulling it out constantly.
Well, it's been trained for the last 40 years, so it's good.
Well, now you said you were working on you were drawing while you were listening to us,
Right.
and so now we stop you from drawing. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm making coffee in my kitchen, and I'm just drawing away here.
Cool.
Working on my stuff, and I was just kind of, I kind of I like the idea that you've invited people on.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's great. It's things that I find that this industry is so different from what it was before back in the day,
Mhm.
and now it's actually better for someone who's got a vision to be able to put their product out there.
So true.
Yeah.
It used to be it used to be back in the 90s or before that. If you were independent, if you didn't fit into the box, there was no place for you to go, and it was just called what was it? Vanity Press.
Yeah. Yep. Glenn, did you mute yourself?
No, I did. There was
Did
some
you?
static in his mic.
Yeah, there's some really hard static in your mic, Glenn.
Yeah, I was trying to clean up on it, but it's not working on our side.
I think it's on his end. I'm gonna unmute him here.
But I would tell him there's some static. I can. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some hard static in your mic, Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
Glenn. I think Glenn's connected to his phone. I'm gonna go over Glenn's house and take a laptop over there because he didn't live that far from me. I think
A laptop and a Tupperware tub, I imagine.
Yeah. I'm getting some of those toys on over there.
Yeah, iPhone. Where you're on stream, right?
Yeah.
StreamYard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and iPhones don't work that well. I tried doing shots and 2 shots of me drawing on my board, and it's just static. I mean, that's what Glenn is happening right now. The phone just doesn't work.
Yeah, I want to talk to Glenn about what he does, but his internet connection, I think through his phone, it has such a hard time connecting. He was on the show with us last week.
He is in Roseville.
Yeah, he's in Roseville, and and it just kept dropping him every time he would get ready to speak.
Mm-hmm.
He'd drop out.
John, where are you from?
Well, I'm in Lexington right now. I live in Lexington, Kentucky,
Sweet.
but I grew up in Brooklyn,
Okay.
and I was a 2D animator, classical animator back in the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Cool.
Well, I animated Boba Fett in the Star Wars Holiday Special.
You did. How sweet.
Wow.
That is awesome. Good for you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Now that right there is man, we can
That's a
talk about
notorious
that.
landmark for you. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's incredible.
I was a little kid when I was doing that. I was in, and so I was working at Nelvana Studios in Toronto at the time,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then we did Rock and Roll.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
That's an awesome movie. That's great.
yeah.
I haven't seen that film in a long time.
Yeah, well, it's amazing how well it's aged. In fact, it doesn't age because it's a garage. It's kind of like a garage band, animated film.
Yeah.
It doesn't lose that energy because it's still pretty raw.
And Varian is so young, he's probably never even heard of the film.
Oh,
Which film?
Rock and Roll.
Okay, you got
See,
me.
I told you.
Okay, you got me there. You got me there.
That come out about the same time as Fire and Ice.
Yes, in fact, we were offered, we were asked to do Fire and Ice, but
And
we
I see
were-
again.
we
Again, he has no idea what that is.
I'm
either.
like, I'm trying
Well,
to.
talking about heavy metal. Yeah, I know a whole bunch of people who started on Fire and Ice,
Mhm.
and but that was a lot of rotoscope.
Yeah, it was practically all rotoscope.
Yeah, I don't touch rotoscope. And that's what Ralph Bakshi did.
Yeah.
He did so much of his stuff
Oh, yeah.
rotoscoping.
Well, that's we got a question from Indievote Radio, and then the comments lighting up now too. But then my mouse just died.
Well, it's almost like we have a real guest star here on the show. That's awesome, dude.
Indievote
incredible.
Radio. Indievote Radio just asked about animation.
Mhm.
Someone just wrote in from the UK. Philip, I think Philip's wrote in before. Philip says, as an animator, were you ever pressured to do like to jump over to computer animation at all? Or they try to pressure you guys at all? to do that?
Well, the thing about it is, by the time computer animation, got a foothold, I was considered to be too old.
Okay.
I mean, computer animation got hit. They really with Toy Story, and then the transition to CGI, computer generated imagery,
Sure.
back in about 2000, 2001. By that time, I'd already cracked 50. So that was it. They didn't want old guys to do it. In fact, some of the best animators at Disney's tried to get into it, and they said, "No, we don't want you."
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. Now, are you drawing
shame.
traditionally, or are you doing?
I draw pencil and paper.
Okay.
Sweet.
See, Randy. See, don't let Randy fool you, John. Randy's made the transition over to digital.
Yeah.
And he's.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I've done a transfer. I do my transfer onto. No, I hate drawing on glass.
Yeah.
I mean, I draw on my animation board, which is glass.
Right.
My old Raggedy Ann and Andy disc. From that. I got it. It's about 42 years old. Glass, metal.
Mhm.
The whole thing. But I use a lot of paper underneath it. Underneath
Okay.
the drawing to
Yeah.
soften it.
Right.
I
I hear you.
So I'll use a black wing pencil, a bunch of all kinds of pencils, and on animation bond paper, so that I can do my regular process of roughing and then drawing over that and then drawing over that for my finished thing. Scan it and then put it into Clip Studio Paint.
Right.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
you guys see me freaking out, it's because my mouse just died, so I can't read the comments. My mouse has to be charged up, and it hasn't been charged up for a month. So,
Oh no.
yeah, Randy, you have that. I'm trying to find the charger. Like, where did I put the charger? So, Randy, you have to go in the comments and They're
Well, there hasn't been much new comments, so
I see 5, but I can't see them all. So
Well, there's somebody named Ralph Griffith who's quoting, "My name is Mock, and thanks a lot."
yeah. Ralph remembers. Ralph and I did a lot of work back in the '80s and 2000s, and he knows what rock and roll is. We had an artist who loved that movie so much that he copied that style for the comic that Ralph printed called The Realm.
Okay.
And that artist, who I might not want to be named because he no longer uses that style, he's now really close with Guillermo del Toro.
Okay.
Working in his art production department. But yeah, that's good memories of that film.
Well, one of my favorite memory is drawing when Cindy Slipper, drops down out of the air vent.
Okay.
And swings butt first back and forth.
I gotta check that. I gotta check that movie out at some point.
Glenn said I had to jump out. I need to get a speaker for live streams. Yeah, Glenn.
Yeah,
I'm sorry you had to leave.
Yeah, speaker. We're gonna have to get you like a laptop or something, man. So
yeah, we do need you back on the air here soon.
Yeah, so you can have like a what you call it? My microphone is my mouse is completely dead. I'm lost without my mouse. I can't control anything.
Rob says painful, Randy. Painful, whatever I did. Not well. I'd say sorry to Rob, but it's Rob. So, never too old to entertain us, John. Never.
Well, that's why I'm doing independent comics.
Cool. Can you tell us what you're working on? Is it something you're already crowdfunding or what?
Well, on my Twitter account, I've been talking about it, and on my channel, little by little, I'm starting to develop. I did a crowdfunder with that I just finished from Kickstarter and Indiegogo that did samples of all full-size animation drawings from my career, which include Rock and Roll, Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, Batman commercials, Boba Fett, all of those. So I've got that, and then I started introducing the comic books that I'm starting to produce now. And
so you worked for Don Bluth Studios for quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
then.
I worked on the video games.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, and
Varian might actually know what Dragon's Lair is.
Okay.
But he's busy talking, so he's probably just his mouth.
Well, the Dragon's Lair, Space Ace. I was at Filmation.
Okay.
Dan and Shearer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a well-rounded thing. But today I'm working on all ages comics, and really for the age group of 4-year-olds up to 12.
Okay.
And I think to me that's a comic book potential audience that's just totally underserved.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured I've got my Snuffy and Zoe toy box adventures for the 4 to 7-year-olds, and then Nicky Nards and Mega Moose from the 8 to 12-year-olds.
Cool. Mega Moose.
Mega Moose. Yeah, it's kind of like it is a riff off of the original Captain Marvel. Nicky Nards is given a magic feather, and when he tickles with his nose, he sneezes and he turns into a Minotaur-like character.
That's amazing.
Mega Moose.
I love it.
Love it. Now, John,
I know Rob's just picking on me, but saying you have a worthwhile guest just painful. Rob, that's not what I meant. I meant we had a special guest star, somebody who's been in the business for years, who's done stuff that's very, very noteworthy, and way above all of our or more recognized than a lot of our work. That way, because everybody, that Star Wars special, holiday special, is so notorious now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially here on YouTube. They have people that watch that all the time, and so many people were introduced to Boba Fett right there from the holiday special.
Right,
it's amazing.
John, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
don't know if I should ask this.
You gotta wonder if the entire lore, the Mandalorian lore, and everything that's happened since then, just started from that little bit of animated film inside of the holiday special.
Well, I was the first one to whack the serpent with the tuning fork weapon.
Yeah,
And my namesake knows all about tuning forks. Uh,
yeah. He's named after a character from Fantastic Journey.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if you're familiar with that show, but it come on right after.
That was a fantastic journey. Yeah.
Yeah, had Roddy McDowell in it.
Fantastic Planet. I'm thinking of
Yeah.
that.
I have a question for you. Yesterday, a director over at Nickelodeon put out a tweet, and he was saying, "Hey, if you want to get into animation at Nickelodeon, send me a link to your profile." And what can someone expect who wants to get into animation?
I have no idea now
Mhm.
because the industry is so different, and that if I would say if you have the capacity, well, first of all, you better know design and storytelling for storyboards, because that storyboarding and design for characters, that's pretty much what you're going to get here in the States. Everything else gets shipped overseas. But also, you're not, and when you're doing animation today, you're using basically harmony, which is puppetry. You're manipulating images, from the out, like a puppet, like a marionette, because that's what you're doing. You're not actually drawing it. You're just saying, okay, move the elbow here, put the rest up here, the rest here, right into there, and then go into there. But you've got to manipulate all of those joints and such, and be able to create that. You don't have the luxury of doing, a triple image on one drawing and just snapping it. It's a completely different, skill set.
When I was younger, and knowing a lot of people who are in animation now, I told them I'm in the minority because of this. I used to love, and I still do, the Don Bluth animation style.
Okay.
I like that fluidity to the characters. I'm not sure if he did anything to do with the Chipmunk Adventure, but I love the way the characters move.
Was not him.
Yeah.
Were you listening when John said he worked on Dragon's Lair and Space Ace?
Yeah. The Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, two of my favorites. In fact, they're getting ready to. I think I seen someone they're getting ready to do a movie on Dragon's Lair.
Yeah.
But
I think live action.
Yeah,
but it's not.
But
it won't be the same.
I do have Dragon's Lair on my game system here because I just I love that game. But I love that animation, the fluidity of it, and I forgot who did the. I think you're about to say, John, the Chipmunk Adventure.
That was Ralph Bagdasarian. I think they did a through Ruby and Spears or Hanna-Barbera. He was Rob Bagdasarian is basically, that was David Seville.
Yeah.
And so it was an independent production. And so, and then they did the Chipmunk, show, I think.
Yeah.
They had that.
Yeah, they had the show, and then they did
earlier on. That was Hanna-Barbera, and then they did an '80s show.
Yeah.
I was working at Ruby Spears on Turbo Team. That's the low point of my life.
Career. Sorry about that.
Anyway, no, they were doing that, and but that was not Bluth.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that animation style and watching how they moved and how they would recoil from things, and I thought and I remember looking at it as a kid and saying, why does it look so different than it does? Because I was watching, the 80s show every day as a kid.
Right.
And then so I go to see this movie, and they're, obviously they're, 40 feet tall or whatever, they're bigger, but they're moving different, and they're colored different and more vibrantly.
Right.
And even when they tried to bring the show, when they when the show picked up elements from the movie, and so the chipmunks got a different kind of a redesign. They got colored eyes, but they couldn't match that animation style. Still, they were still using a a quicker.
Well, first of all, you're when you doing feature work, you don't have the same drawing count limitations. And also you're not turning out as much footage as you would necessarily do for for a TV show. I mean, for example, if you're doing a TV show, when I was at the Patty Freeling working, on what was it, Mr. Magoo and Baggy Pants and the Nitwits, and there we had a footage count of about 60 feet, which is a little over. It was like 30 seconds, 40 seconds a week to complete. On a feature at Disney's, maybe 5 feet, 10 feet, or which would be the equivalent of like say 4 seconds a week. So you have much more time, and also you're not using you can go on ones, doing one frame per drawing, and you can do all kinds of you have less limitations of how many drawings and how much time you have.
A lot of shortcuts in weekly production.
Yes, absolutely planned.
Yeah.
I would think that I just always thought that maybe they as a kid I thought maybe they did it on purpose. Like, hey, the movie, so it's got to look better. I mean, even to there's a point where even the Simpsons movie looks a lot better than the Simpsons cartoon
TV show. Yeah. Well, because it doesn't. Again, you have a much bigger budget. You can spend more time, and I mean that's what it used to be. Disney would turn out a feature every 3 years for a while. At the beginning, they would just do it, and then you figured, okay, so every 3 years they turn out a new feature. They wouldn't re-release a rerun for at least 7 years.
Yeah, that Disney Vault.
Yeah, the Disney Vault. Well, I'm talking about in the theaters.
Yeah,
right.
Because basically it was like every 7 years you get a new generation of kids who have never seen that cartoon before because it was never shown. You don't have you didn't have the oversaturation of comic book cartoon animation content that you have today.
No streaming service.
Everything.
Yeah, I was looking at a documentary on how Hollywood actually hated and rallied against VHS tapes when they were first announced. They did not like the idea of you being able to have that movie at home. Like that killed re-releases. That killed a lot of stuff for them. So
look at how fast they killed the VHS tape for the CD or the DVD.
Yeah, and now look,
so you couldn't record at home.
I mean, it used to be. Remember when they were trying to get us all on DVDs? They had special features take up the back of the case. Now you're lucky if you get a trailer. Randy, it looks like there's some comments up there, but again, I can't.
Oh, Ralph has a question for John. It says, "Have you looked at some of the libraries for carrying your kids' books?"
Well, first of all, I'm thinking about crowdfunding. Libraries they order through. It's going to be Ingram, and that's that. And so I'm not looking at doing children's books. They're comic books, and that's the difference. Yeah. I'm trying to do books, even crowdfunding, but that's a whole nother thing. I mean, I did self-publishing back in the 90s, doing mystery and crime fiction books that we were carried by Ingram, Baker and Taylor, all of the stores. We were on Barnes and Noble, we were Books a Million. I mean, we were all everywhere. And if you do not have a regular small publishing, hello.
I just made you full size so they can look at you instead of Varian and I. So. Go ahead, John. You got the floor. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, back then, unless you were a real you had a small press that you could turn out 10 books a year, you were no longer considered to be a valid publisher.
Mhm.
What had happened when I got into it, the independent presses, small publishers, which we did one book a year, and they were mysteries, and so there were mystery bookstores, and we got picked up by Ingram because of we were bought. Well, we were with a smaller distributor that got absorbed by Ingram, so
Okay.
we got into that system there,
Mhm.
and so that allowed us to be everywhere, and for a period of time, I'd say about 4 or 5 years, independent authors could get into being a small press. But then Ingram and a lot of the other the other distributors started to say, well, there are too many of you writers, so therefore you have to be a valid press, you got to do at least 10 books a year.
Okay.
So that knocked us out. There
Gotcha.
was no way we could do it. And also, they started to mess with how much they were charging for shipping,
Mhm.
the how much you had to give them. You had to give them 65% discount. Well, that just plus you had to pay the shipping. Well, that killed you, especially since they would only, and Ingram would do this all the time. They order the books and hold on to them for 30 days and then ship them back to you. Well, you can't.
Oh,
You
without,
can't.
without distributing them?
Yes,
Yeah. That's
you know,
ridiculous. Yeah.
you can't. You don't have any way of maintaining a decent I don't know, a business plan that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a small press. That's why I say crowdfunding is great, because I'm only looking, and creators are only looking for their particular audience.
Right.
And that is the only way that people with visions can get it out there.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's
Jason the artist says loved watching Dragon's Lair on YouTube. What part of the animation were you tasked with on that project, John?
okay. Well, on the games, I did a lot of specialties with the deaths. You know,
Awesome.
like you were you were dropping down into the dungeon, and you were supposed to you made the wrong move. Well, you got slammed, by a falling anvil. You cracked into a million pieces. All of that. That's what my were some of my specialties.
Your animation were the scenes that everybody was cursing at.
That's right, but you saw,
I made the wrong
you saw a
move.
lot of my animation more than anybody else did.
Yeah, that's awesome. Ralph again says, damn distributors. Once again, yeah, we had the same problem in comics with Diamond, only they wouldn't hold back and not distribute. They would send us purchase orders that were under the amount of books ordered.
Right.
So we had retailers coming to us wanting to know why we shorted them.
Right.
When it was really Diamond. Let's see, Varian's back in, so we're gonna kick you back here.
Okay. Hi.
Hello. Mark Bloodworth, Varian wrote in, I can forgive Varian for not knowing rock and roll, but how can you be friends with Sarah Frazetta on Facebook and not know about Fire and Ice?
Yeah, I'm I have no excuses.
and Pop says Mark has a point.
Randy, I cannot find my cord, so you're in control.
Am I?
Yeah.
I am in control. Anybody else out there have a question for John? And John, thanks so much for coming on the show. It's really awesome to meet you. And believe me, you're welcome back on anytime.
Well, thank you, and I'm very glad to be to be seen here and get to know you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to. I'll let you all know as I make my progression through my development in my comic books. So
Okay. And your crowdfunding campaigns right now are over.
yes, they are over.
Okay. So there's nothing we can really promote for you.
No, you can't, except
Okay.
me.
Except
You
you.
are the artist.
Yep. Well, when you get ready to do that crowdfunding again, definitely let us know. We'll have you on.
Okay, great.
We'll
Thank
give you a good
very
push.
much, Randy.
Yeah,
Thank you,
and-
Varian.
Yeah,
Oh,
no problem.
thank you.
And
It's a
John,
pleasure to meet you, buddy.
I want to show you. I want to tell you that you actually just you've been on our highest rated morning show, but I think it may actually be our highest show right now. We're sitting Indievolt Radio right now. 28,637 people listening.
I think that's a new record,
Yeah,
John.
it's a new
I'm
record.
sure you did it for us.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you very much.
yeah.
Say hello to everybody around the world at
Yeah.
Indie Volt Radio.
Oh, listen, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm drawing. Okay, guys, thank you very much.
A lot of us guys are still out there and very viable and not only working but very willing to work.
Mhm.
You know that a lot of these editors and publishing houses or whatever decide that once you hit a certain age, or like you ran into the animation house, you hit a certain age. Well, obviously you can't learn anything. Well, it's like, no, we definitely can, and we know how to do the old stuff really well too.
I know, but it's human nature. Nobody wants to be looked over by their dad. Looked over their
Yeah,
shoulder.
that's or one upped.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah. Especially when you get into a workhorse mentality where, like you said, you were performing so many feet per week,
Yeah.
which meant you were constantly churning and constantly drawing material.
Right.
Where these guys, you might literally draw rings around these guys.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to draw a lot, and so
Yeah. A whole lot
Anyway.
in animation.
yeah.
So,
Thanks
hey,
for coming on,
anybody
John.
out there, if you see that old Dragon Slayer on YouTube and you see the character take a death, it was probably John.
That's right.
Yeah. So we love what you did. We just every time I see that, I'm like, John did this to me.
John did this to me.
Yeah.
And
Thanks
John,
for
we
coming
can't
on,
we
John.
can't wait to see your next projects and your next campaign. We'll help you out as much as we can.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks
Take
for
care.
coming on. We
Yeah.
deeply appreciate it.
Thank you, Randy, Varian. Have a good morning.
Thank
You
you.
too.
You too.
Okay.
Thanks for being there. Thanks for listening. And again, thanks for coming on.
Okay,
It's
great.
great to have you.
Bye-bye.
Yep,
Bye-bye.
take care.
I remember
That was
Randy-
John, the animator guy. Everybody, do you want me to? Did you find it, John? We're gonna kick you off.
I'll remove.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
He's like,
That was John, the animator guy.
Yeah, that's pretty
I'm
cool.
sure
to have,
we'll see and hear from him again.
pretty cool to have John on here. That was cool. I did not expect
Wow,
for him to show.
the Boba Fett and the holiday special. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it is.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Love that.
it's there's a button that says leave studio too, John, if you, because I know sometimes you if you
Oh, yeah.
from the stream, but yeah, I really appreciate that and coming on and
There you
actually
go.
being able to educate us on, the process of creating
Yep.
animation and what it takes. There's a lot of people who think the animation is easy, and it's not. I know some animators who are doing one man jobs,
Yeah,
and and they're drawing it, hand drawing, and it's rough for them.
that's
So
the way it was back then. Like he said, before Toy Story come on and things started coming out of the computer. So
Yeah.
now it's a whole different skill set. But
Yeah.
back then it was 6 to 12 to 24 frames a second.
yeah.
So that's a lot of drawing.
Randy,
Pops Van Zant says, wow. So if you guys are done, I'd love to prop the con this weekend for a minute.
go ahead. You can talk about the show.
You can
I
come
know
on,
you got-
Pops.
Yeah, you can come on the chat. The links in the chat. Randy, do me a favor. I gotta go run and do something real quick. See if my chart is in one other place, and I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah,
We'll take it. Anybody else want to come in? We only have a few minutes left.
Yeah, you
Some
can go full
last-
screen if you can go
Some
full.
last minutes promoting.
Yeah, there's Pops. You can go full screen with Pops if you
I'm
want.
gonna remove you from the
Okay.
stream. All right, and we're gonna bring Pops in here. Pops, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. We only have a few minutes left in our 2-hour cast, so go ahead and make your promotion.
Kill that other team.
Rob, can you come in? You need to turn us off there, Pops. So,
There you go.
there you go. Good. Go for it, Pops.
Yeah, I just wanted jump out here real quick, talk about this weekend. We got CromCon 3 going on. We do it it'll be broadcast in Comic Related Madness, and to all other groups that accept the link, because I share it out everywhere. We got like 30 guests over the weekend. We got 2 large weekend evening panels.
What's the site address, Pops?
Comic Related Madness.
That's the site, comicsrelatedmadness.com?
Yeah, that's the group. That's where I broadcast it to.
Is that a group on Facebook? Is that a group on Facebook?
I'm sorry. Yeah, on Facebook.
Okay. So it's Comics Related Madness as a group on Facebook.
I mean, we've been doing, this is the 3rd one. We've done it twice before. It's been pretty successful. People keep coming back wanting to do it again, but we're doing something a little different this time. When it ends at 5:30, 6 o'clock, it's not going to end. We're going to open panels just like you got right here where you just sent the link out. We're going to let anybody who wants just like blow the night away. Saturday night, we got Keith Williams and Pete Vasquez, Enrique Lopez, and Jay Lipson starting out the panel. And it's going to go until nobody wants to talk anymore. So anybody else wants to jump in, whatever, it's going to be wide open. It's going to be fun.
Okay, fantastic, Pops. Thanks so much for coming on and pushing the show.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me do this, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. You take care now.
You too.
All right, we'll see you. Also coming on the stream, just as we're about to finish the show, is the Indie Comics Devil.
What's going on?
Nothing much. Rob, how are you?
I'm sorry to end the show as such a lame guest versus your other one, Rand.
Oh, buddy, come on. You don't have to.
That was impressive.
I don't geek out very often, but John was definitely impressive. So
that was amazing. I was listening his stuff, and I'm surprised what Varian doesn't actually know sometimes.
Oh, we forget how young he is. That's the problem. I had to introduce him to Wally Wood and Russ Manning too. So there's a lot he's not aware of, but that's from his perspective. You know. So Rob, I wanted you to come on to push Cat Dad and Supermom.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we're starting Indiegogo, as you know.
Yep.
And let me see if I can get the screen up for you to share.
Please do.
We are of course teaching morals with farts. The farts use like Green Lantern rings, but more importantly, it's a story that you can sit down with your entire family and enjoy. How many stories can we say that about these days?
That's part of the fascination with John too. He's working on a younger audience book.
Yeah,
so the Mega Moose sounded real interesting.
It really did. Like I was really impressed by him. I was like, where have you been all of our life?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of us old farts out there. You know, guys that have been walked over. You look at the comic industry, the ones that haven't unfortunately passed on, they've been passed over by the editors who decide that, well, because you've done a monthly book for decades, obviously we need some younger blood. Even though you've got a reputation, you've got a history of hitting deadlines, and you have a fan following. You see artists out there like Ron Friends, and there's Keith Pollard, Arvell Jones. There's a whole list of really good creators out there that you don't see work from on a regular basis, who are now out there, thanks to crowdfunding, doing books and hitting their audience again. Because these editors are have a different, younger perspective, like Varian, and decide, well, old man, we don't need you. We're a young kids game or whatever, and just don't use these great old workhorses, who, like I said, are not only known for hitting deadlines, but they have a fan following. They have people out there who would buy their work just off of their name. So good on them for capitalizing their reputation on crowdfunding.
I also think sometimes it's about profits. Unfortunately, they cut the better workers because they know they're worth more money. And how sad is that? Like, someone who can deliver you quality, you're kicking to the side because you're worried about profits.
Well, it's not just, but quite frankly, it's bad business acumen is what it is. Because some of these guys are worth it. If you got a guy out there who's constantly hitting a monthly deadline, who does get a higher page rate because he's been out there long enough, maybe he's actually worth it. Yeah. You know, the amount of rate of return more than overdoes the higher page rate that you have to that you have to pay in order to know that that quality is always going to be there. So you've got guys like, well, Keith Pollard is a grand example. He was on Fantastic Four for years. You know, he's got a big rev. Ron Friends was on Spider-Man for years. But very rarely do you see them get work anymore. In the mainstream, they're out there doing their own independent work, and good on them for doing it.
I do think that helps, though. In the end of the day, it shows that us creators don't have shelf lives, and maybe we don't need new blood that doesn't understand it, and maybe we do have to let the original generations, the next generations, and all of them play together in the same sandbox. That's why I love about independent comics. It's about what's the best story, not who's more popular.
Yep.
There's also the ability to when you have those different groups colliding, you get an opportunity to learn something from each other and create something truly unique from both viewpoints.
Well, you learned about rock and roll and Fire and Ice today.
Yeah,
and now you're going to dig those movies up and watch them.
Yeah, there's a chance I know what Fire and Ice is, but I just don't remember the name. But rock and roll, no. Don't know that one.
Can you pull up the? There's a campaign right there, right? Here we go. Yeah. Cat Dad and Supermom on demand at Indiegogo.
Yeah, super excited about it. I'm actually going to start pushing it now because I have great news. You guys get to hear it. The books are printed. I'm picking them up today.
Awesome.
We're able to get it into the printer. The surveys will be going out in the next 24 hours. I wanted to have the books. I wanted to be able to say the books are in. Give me your address. You get them, and next week we'll send everything out.
Cool.
Everything goes as planned. We'll be months ahead of schedule.
So the books are done. You order now. You're going to get them within a few weeks.
Yep. That's exactly how it's going to go.
That's a fantastic return on an Indiegogo campaign.
Yeah. Caden, my son, is
Cat Dad and Supermom, and Elefart never forgets.
Actively waiting on his. So
yeah.
He tells me whenever I order a book for him, he's always telling me, "You check the mail? Is my book there? Is my book here?"
Well, make sure to send me your address today before the surveys go out, and I'll make sure to ship it out today.
Okay, all right. We got a lot of things we talked about today. We hope that we've been able to at least expand some of your mind a little bit, give people something to once again escape from some of the nastiness out there in the world today. We also should mention again, Randy, that Luke's actually was sent out a message yesterday. He's taking submissions. If you got an indie comic that you're looking to have published, you should contact Luke Stone. He is doing open submissions. Rob, a little bit more, about that. I think you can expand that a little bit, unless Jax is
No, he's just being a kid right now, having fun, watching his YouTube. So I figured I'd turn it off if I'm not talking. Luke Stone, something big's coming. I am part of that something big. I will be putting something out today to encourage people. Basically looking to kick the door down, break some gates open, and create something that matters. Not something about ego, but something bigger and better than all of us. So kind of like Voltron. A lot of people are coming together to make the bigger, more important Voltron. I don't know. Did he ever have his name was just Voltron, right? No matter what he was like Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, and then he was Voltron. So that's what we're trying to do. We're all trying to come together to be a Voltron and not save comics, but definitely make them more interesting and make them have a quality standard. I think that was the biggest thing Luke and a lot of us who are getting together are talking about. Quality matters. Mm-hmm. It matters so much now because in the independent market, so many people are trying to slip things through the cracks. We want to show a stamp of like, this is our hard work. We're all coming together. We're guaranteeing the book will be quality. You might not like it. You can never guarantee if someone's going to like it, but it will be a quality product. And how many people can say that about, we could go through all the publishers right now. We could say, I don't think half of them are worried about quality as much as they're worried about boobs on covers to sell alternative covers.
Now, is this something that Luke has already announced or is it coming?
It has been semi-announced. We are open for submissions right now. That's why I'm being a little coy. I know what I'm allowed to say and not allowed to say. There is a big thing coming, not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. Stay tuned. There will be a big reveal. Big news is coming, and it's hopefully going to, You can't say change comics, but we would like to add to the history of comics. How does that sound?
There we go. That sounds great.
We're just at our 2-hour mark. So, Randy,
We are.
where can they find Mr. Rob Anderson? I know all over the internet because he owns it all.
We know he's on Indiegogo. Rob, but where else can they find you?
You can find me at MrAnderson.com, where you can find out what the devil's up to and follow all the devil's tales. More importantly, check out comicbookadvocates.com. It is the site that encourages you to fall back in love with comic books. I promise you, there's more out there than Safe Space, Trailblazer, and Be Negative. Okay, there's great books, great, and we saw today a creator who is so excited about creating. He's out there making his own stuff. He's got a huge past of amazing projects, and he's coming into the independent creators market because he's still a creator. So that's the spirit of what we have going on that side. And of course, we team up with Indie Volt to do such amazing stuff as bringing you guys an education, as Randy puts it.
Yeah. And again, with John as a prime example, you start creating, it gets into your blood, and you just don't want to stop. You just don't, because there's so many stories and there's so much that you want to tell people. You just keep going and going. Mm-hmm. If it's my turn, you can find me on Facebook. I am on Twitter under Randy Zimm, though I don't twit very often. You can find me at the Zimm Geek YouTube channel. That's ZIMMGEEK. And there will be, I'm really close to putting new content up. I swear I am. And then here on Indie Volt, we're here Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. for the regular Indie Volt podcast, Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. for the Breakfast Buzz. Both of those are Eastern Standard Time. Indie Volt also has Geekgasm that they do on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where the Indie Princess is mostly in charge.
Yep.
And with the help of Varian, and it's geekism with a female, hopefully female slant. And then on Fridays, Eric pops up with Varian for the Art of War, where they bring in some artists to draw a topic of Varian's choosing at the last minute, and they spend a couple hours talking and drawing and showing the process and having fun and talking about the industry at the same time.
And it's also the only art competition show online where you actually win something.
They actually have a prize.
Yep. So you actually win something.
So wait a minute, exposure isn't a prize?
No.
You can always do it for the exposure.
Yeah.
Also, indievolt.com. We're on the radio. Tell us about it, Varian.
Yeah, the Indie Volt Radio right now, 29,060 people listening on Indie Volt Radio through different forms of
we love and appreciate you all.
Multi-platform. They're listening mainly through the browser as well as Alexa. At the whisper Alexa,
which he says in a whisper.
Yeah. But if you have an Android phone, hop on the Google Play Store. Type in Indie Volt. You'll be able to download the radio app there. If you have an iOS phone, you can download an app called Streema, Streema, and you can look up Indie Volt Radio there and listen to us. We are going to be natively moving over to Indie Volt Radio on iOS very soon. So you'll just be able to go to your Apple store and be able to pick it up. Also on Roku, Indie Volt TV is free. Go pick that up as well. Download that. It's free. Lots of independent content on there, including some of these shows. Also, something we're hoping to do very soon is we're going to do some exclusive to Indie Volt TV talks very soon here. So hoping that something that we can manifest here very soon. It'll be a little bit more rougher than these shows.
Rougher. Yeah, how can they get rougher?
Oh, they can get real.
We'll just have to see. Then we'll be TVMAXXX, huh?
Yeah. And then obviously,
here we go.
If you want to send your question in, it's easy to do that. IndieVolt Live at indievolt.com is where you want to send those emails to. Please include IndieVolt Live in the subject and keep those emails to 90 words or less so I can make graphics, which I have to apologize. I have not made graphics in a couple days. So I'm going to get back on top of that.
You have a good excuse.
Yeah.
So, and remember, folks out there listening, the thousands and thousands of you out there in radio land, we really do want to hear from you. And there is no question that's too silly. There's no question that's too serious. We give advice to the lovelorn. Anything that has to do with comics or geekdom that you want to know, feel free to ask us.
Yeah.
especially, I'm sorry to step on you, Varian. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, yes. Anything that you want to talk about as far as comics industry, send those questions and we'll be happy to answer them. To the best of our abilities.
And remember, our feedback will be better because of your setback. Hashtag get an education. Hashtag IndieVolt.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
So hey, our next broadcast will be Friday, The Art of War at 9 p.m. for IndieVolt. Don't forget us on YouTube. Even if you're not listening to us right now on YouTube, you want to get on there and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, just so you know when we're on the air, because we can go on anytime. And there have been times over the weekend that we just pop on for an hour or two just to talk.
Yeah.
Like that great talk that we had, what was that, Sunday? That you and Rob had with the talking about Comics Game.
Yeah.
So you never know. And if there's a topic you want us to discuss, make sure you let us know. Send that in. IndieVolt.com. Right? That was right?
Yeah. And be happy to do it.
For that tag again. That's
IndieVolt Live at IndieVolt.com.
IndieVolt Live and IndieVolt.com. We want to help you out there. It's important that everybody gets an education into this wonderful field of sequential art.
Yeah.
So, okay, is that it? Are we wrapping up?
We wrapped up.
Everybody, stay safe, be healthy, be good, and we'll talk to you very soon. Anything you want to say walking out the door, Rob?
Like Randy said, continue your education. It means going to panels. It means showing up to these shows. More importantly, it means asking questions. Yes, sometimes we'll rib you. You don't want to be ribbed. Don't start your questions off with, hey, guys, you're fucking idiots.
We get defensive.
Yes, so if you start off, hey, guys, I have a question. Why is my comic book shop failing? We'll say, well, maybe because you don't invite indie creators. Yes, I couldn't leave you alone. Fuck you, Randy. Fuck.
You're not talking to me. You're talking to me.
Randy number 2. You don't even deserve to be called Randy. From now on, your name is R. We will not refer to you as anything other than R.
You can call me Zimm.
Yeah.
And just call the other guy Randy. He's all.
Okay.
We're all Randy here anyway.
It's so bad that Randy. See, Jackson's upset.
There we go.
Wants to go by Randy.
Wait a minute. Before we leave, there's somebody in the green room. I think he wants to check up on us or tell us about the world.
Okay, let's find out what he has to say.
Terrible things are going on in the world right now.
Ethan,
Absolutely
buddy.
Terrible.
How you doing, man? Why are you here? Why are you here, bud?
Let me see here.
All right.
Well, let me check in on you guys and just make sure you're okay.
Awesome, bud. How are you doing? His internet. Damn it. Went out again.
Was he playing video games upstairs?
Hunter might have been playing. We don't know. Anyway, until next time, everybody, you take care. Any last words, Varian?
That's it. We'll see you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, and then we'll be back Tuesday afternoon, night on IndieVolt.
You never know.
Live. Yeah, you never know.
Listen to IndieVolt Radio. We'll be there.
Because something stupid could happen.
Something stupid usually does happen.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
See you later.
Go ahead.
Stay happy. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Stay healthy. Take care.
The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy, baby.
Yay! Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
We're still live.